right, here we go. This is probably attempt number 47 to make this video. I've been interrupted so many times. I hope the wind isn't too bad. One day it decides to get windy. All right, so I guess it is time to tell this crazy story. I'm going to start with the most recent. This is about a 10-year, it's going on 10 years that this particular ordeal has been happening. So we'll rewind it back to October of 2024, so a year ago. It'll need to go back farther than that, but for now, well, probably need to go back earlier than that to get some context for what happened last October. So let's rewind this to Labor Day 2023. My father had recently passed July of that year, completely unexpected. I had just started really into my journey of Ascension that previous April, and that's a wild story in itself. That'll have to be a different video. So Labor Day of 2023, I was just over at a friend of mine's, chilling, hanging out. Our kids were playing, everything else, and I don't do social media, which makes me putting all this out on the interwebs very different. I'm also very introverted, but I digress. Just sitting over there, and it was weird because my ex-wife had asked if our daughter, it was my visitation time, asked if she could come over for the weekend for a barbecue. And I'm like, absolutely not. You're not taking any of my time. Go F yourself, essentially. So my friend goes, hey, did you know your ex-wife got married? What? She was engaged to somebody else 2 weeks ago. Like, what are you talking about? That escalated quickly. So she had been with this guy, I don't know, let's see, September, about 4 months. They moved in together. Kids moved in together, ended up like 4 kids, all that. Dude seemed decent. I knew he was on drugs, but I can't do anything about that, except try to protect my child. And so, long story short, she just kicks him out for absolutely no reason. She tried to set him up like she did me, the dude after me. I don't know, at this point in 10 years, that was like player number 6. So now we're on to player number 7. And I guess she figured out that no men are going to take her serious at this point. And, well, I don't even know if it's that. That's just pure speculation. But she got married to somebody our child had never met. I had never even heard of. No, I take that back. I met them in passing, like about a week before. God, the interruptions, man. About a week before all this went down, picking up my daughter, and I was introduced as the friend. Well, I guess it wouldn't have been a week, whatever. 3 weeks before this went down. I was introduced, she was introduced, She was introduced to me as a friend. I say she because, yeah. So yeah, they get married. I find out through a friend who found out through social media, which I mean, I don't care beyond how it affects my daughter. I'm so disconnected from this woman, it's ridiculous. If she was the last woman on Earth and the survival of the human species depended on us procreating, I'd sit on a cactus and spin before entertaining that. But so, come to find out, this woman identifies as a man and is on testosterone and everything else, as I was about to find out. I text my ex-wife, like, hey, congratulations on getting married. She goes, how did you find out about that? It's like, well, one, if you're bringing somebody into my life, you should, our daughter's life, you should have told me. Because at this point, I'm asking my daughter, like, hey, do you know who this is? I've met him like once. Oh, okay. So, outside of just like, hey, you got married, that's cool. I need legal name so I can run a background check. Completely reasonable request. I want to know who's around my child. Refuses to give it to me. I try, and I try, and I try. For about, I don't know, a good 2 hours, just stonewalling me the entire time. And I have receipts for all of this. And she goes, it's not my place to give out his name, true name, because they don't go by it anymore. I don't use their dead name. I'm sitting here going, I don't freaking care. Just give me the name. Nope. Well, I'll have Dean. Well, I'll have that person text you. Okay. And I guess I could use the name they go by because it's not their real name. So I'll just try not to say it again. They text me just straight up hostile right off the bat. I mean, just, this is my real name. This is my information. If you ever use my real name, we're going to have problems. And I mean, I'm just sitting here going, legal name. Legal name. That's all I need. Legal name. I don't even want to talk to you beyond that. Have receipts on this too. Just verbally assaulting me. Just super aggro right off the bat. I'm sitting here going, you have no idea who you're effing with. Like, I won't start anything, but if you identify as a man, you come at me like a man, you know, I'll treat you like a man. So I just let it roll off my back. I don't care. Things just started going downhill immediately. I could tell there was massive drug use going on. At this point, our daughter is almost 9 years old. I have her week on, week off, 50-50 custody. Don't pay child support. I don't have to provide health insurance. That's my ex-wife's responsibility. I carry it on my daughter just because I don't trust my ex-wife to do so. And riddle me how a nurse even can get their child on Medicaid. But she is. But yeah, so I can tell, you know, there's issues. Take my daughter to the specialist. It was hidden from me that she needed to go see a lung specialist like 3 years ago, because at that time I wasn't allowed to pull medical information. I was non-custodial when all that went down. Wasn't informed about it. So I had been taking her to the doctor. They're like, hey, yeah, we need to send her to an allergy specialist. All right, got you. So I take her, tell my ex-wife, do my due diligence, like, hey, we've got this set up. It's not till January, and this is like September at this point. Now, keep in mind, I had no way of knowing. The second I found out, at 8 years old, my ex-wife had never taken my child to the dentist, never informed me of doctor visits, didn't tell me about the specialist recommendation due to breathing problems. That wasn't informed to me, which I know why she has breathing problems. My ex-wife smokes in the car with her. I've caught her multiple times, not only in the car, but in the home as well, along with her new partner, which just enrages me. You have a choice to be stupid. Don't put your child at risk for secondhand smoke. On top of that, you're a nurse. You're a nurse. And you're in care of people? That's terrifying. So yeah, I take her, had all her dentists up to date, and still to this day, she's never gone to an appointment. So fast forward, I'm always on top of court records, because I warned her back in May, hey, don't move into this house because, you can't afford it. Oh, well, with what's his name? I forgot homeboy's name at this point. Sorry for all the cars and wind. They don't want me to tell this. Oh yeah, so I keep up with court records constantly because I get no communication. I have to just do the research myself. The co-parenting is non-existent. I do my end. I don't even get a response majority of the time. And if it is a response, it's narcissistic, like I just hold that mirror up, let her go. So I could see where she was facing eviction notice. I asked her, hey, and before you even think about, oh, well, why didn't you give her money to keep her in there? It's your child. You have no idea who this woman is. You have no idea the amount of stuff I have done for that woman leading up to this, only for her to dig that knife right into my back for like the fourth time. So this is when I just mentally checked out. September, after that altercation with her husband coming after me, ex-wife doing absolutely nothing, I just told her, look, I've been pretending to be your friend for 8 years. I cannot stand you. I cannot stand your presence. Do not communicate with me unless it involves our daughter. Period. Man, the weight of getting that off the shoulders, I cannot even describe. It's like I cut a cord and I was freer. So keep going into it. Eviction's coming. She somehow cons her way into coming up with money to stave it off for a month. And I'm sitting here going, okay, so what's going on with that? And this is in October. At the same time as this is going on, my daughter starts complaining, like, hey, I'm itching all over. Wasn't chicken pox, wasn't anything like that. And so I'm like, man, what's up? And you think, your ex-wife being a nurse, she would show some semblance, because when I had got my daughter for that period of visitation, I straight up asked her, like, after she told me, well, did your mother take you to the doctor? No, she said, it'll be fine. Just, it'll go away. Meanwhile, I could tell there was something going on. I'd just never seen anything like it. Take her to the doctor. Scabies. Scabies. On an 8-year-old. Where do you think you pick up scabies? At her mother's place of employment. Come to find out, she had been taking our child to work with her. She works overnight, making her sleep in spare bedrooms in a nursing home and getting her up, driving her an hour to drop her off at school. Was not told to me. So I confront her about it? No, I would never do that. Well, unfortunately, even though I had the information from my child, the child cannot testify against their parent. Does me no good. Take her to the doctor. That's how I figured it out. Got the cream, got all that. It took about a month and a half to get that resolved. So go through that. The eviction, November, almost evicted again. December, finally evicted. Didn't tell me. I had to find out through court documents and everything else. And I'm asking her, I know what's going on. I'm not even asking. It's like, I know what's going on. I had the court paperwork. Like, you have a warrant for eviction. Like, you've been served multiple times. Now, at this point, you're just squatting. And nothing. All I get in response is, oh, well, we're moving into this location. Semi-decent part of town, look it up. It's the most ramshackle, whatever. It doesn't even matter. I get there, and it's like a 1-bedroom annex to a house, like almost like a cabin annex off to a main house. It looked like if you just flicked it, it would fall over. And I said from the beginning, I'm not co-parenting with your new husband. I refuse to. They're not the parent. I'm co-parenting with you. Nope, refuse to. Just ignore me on everything. So we go to January. Specialist appointment finally comes around. I didn't have the heart to tell my daughter what happens when you go to an allergy specialist because I didn't want to freak her out. Sounds kind of bad, but if you have kids, you know. So we walk into this allergy specialist, and the first thing my daughter hears is just kids crying. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no. She's like, Daddy, what's that? I'm like, I don't know, baby. I don't know. Like, let's just get back to the room. You'll be fine. So they stick her. She hates it. But at least now they do it. They don't have to do it like individually. They just have this all at once. Not allergic to anything. I mean, not allergic to anything. So it's like, oh, well, that huge process of elimination. Doctor comes in. Does she snore? Yep. She's got asthma. Shocker. Been smoking in the car with her and in the house with her for 8 years at this point. Well, 7. I wouldn't allow it when we were married. Shocker. She has asthma. Get the inhaler, do all that. Told my ex-wife, hey, I'm taking her. If you want to be there, come on. I added all your information. If you ever need information, it's there. All you have to do is call. Oh, okay. Tells me the doctor is lying. The allergy specialist. And I have the receipts for this. She's a freaking LPN. She knows more than a doctor. Just trust her, bro. And says, oh, I don't believe she has asthma. It's like, it's not about what you believe. It's about what the reality is. Refuses to give her asthma inhaler. The allergy medicine for skin issues and a couple other things. Just refuses to give it to her, point blank. To the point where I had to get with the school and get separate medications just so the school could administer it on the week I didn't have her. Past October, when the eviction stuff started going down, I called the attorney I'd used last time because he's the only good attorney I've had in, at that point, 7 years of dealing with this. He's who got me joint custody. And he's like, man, I'm retired. Like, you're killing me, Smalls. But I'll recommend this other guy from the firm I was at. Okay, cool. Really good firm. Really high dollar firm. Pay to play in the court system is what it is. Throw, however many thousand down on a retainer to have this guy file, custody and everything else. It wasn't enough for ex parte at this point, which, if you know what an ex parte is, emergency order for custody, I didn't have the grounds for that. There was no danger. I love how they make you wait for something to happen before you can do that, even though you know it's going to happen. Patterns repeat themselves. Like, come on. And so he draws up the paperwork and tells me he submits it. Doesn't submit it. Leaves for a month. So now I'm behind already for a month. Gets back, I fire him. Go find another attorney. He files. Refiles. Well, not refiles, but just I transferred my retainer and everything else over to that law firm, which is nationally, they're in 3 major cities throughout the country. And he didn't even bother to learn my case. I'm like, hey, I have all this evidence. Oh, well, we don't have to worry about that right now. I'm like, what? And I already knew it was going to be bad. But at this point, I just had to roll with it because it's like I can't keep whittling down my retainer. And on the outside, he was good. Like, presented himself as good. So this goes on. A bunch of wild stuff happens. In about March of that year, I mean, it just more of the same. Every time I get my child, she reeked of cigarette smoke. Still, after my wife knows she has asthma. Ex-wife. Just continues to smoke. Oh, I don't believe it. It's not about what you believe. Like, the ignorance in this. The ignorance in this is what gets me. Truly. And so finally, she gets kicked out again. My daughter came to me and said, hey, Mama and her partner went out of town over the weekend and we were stuck with the other person who lives there. I was like, what other person who lives there? She goes, we only got fed one time all weekend. Like, excuse me? What? So, right at the same time this is happening, they got evicted from that place for violence and other stuff. But I'd have to pull it back up. I don't exactly remember why they got evicted. It was for getting a fight with the other person who actually owned the house, who lived there. Forgot about that. And I knew something was about to happen because I got a text from her that said, hey, come over, I need to talk to you. I'll have my partner leave. And it's like, no, no. Do you think I was born yesterday? You're trying to trap me. Like, no, not gonna happen. And I roll everywhere armed as it is, so, come at me, bro. And, so yeah, I turned that down. The dude she had an affair with that pretty much ended our marriage. There was a child that came of that. Well, we're having to deal with her now too because she's left him. Like, so he goes over there. I'm like, dude, they don't want to off you like they want to off me. Like, they want me gone, and I could feel it. And I knew what was up. And he comes back, texts me everything about the conversation, and it's just like, okay, that's freaking wild. So I found out that they moved to like an RV in a completely separate county, about an hour and 20-minute drive away. I found this out right before she was supposed to come pick up our daughter for her visitation. Called my attorney, like, hey, I had no idea. Like, at that point, she hadn't told me where or any details. I just knew she wasn't in that location. She wasn't providing me with the new location where they were going to be. I just knew it was Eureka Springs, which is out there from me. And this is going down in Arkansas. Shout out to the corrupt court system across the entire state of Arkansas. We're going to get to that very shortly. So, call my attorney. I'm like, I'm not letting her go. He goes, well, you have joint custody. You don't have to. It's like, all right, get that ex parte filed, which he did. By Arkansas standards, once an ex parte has been accepted, you are required to have a hearing within 30 days. Well, because I had two things open, it complicated things. And I was the only one asking the question, like, what's going to happen if I file this ex parte with my full custody filing that I requested? And he goes, well, it should just null. I'm like, it should? You're an attorney, I'm paying $300 an hour. You better be able to give me an answer more than it should. Still, dude hadn't even bothered to learn my case. Like, if this was criminal, all this would be thrown out. But the family court is a Wild West. They do not give a... And so I was granted the ex parte and supposed to have a get together within 30 days of it to have the judge sign off. And ex-wife didn't show, didn't respond, nothing. Didn't come to the hearing, nothing. It wasn't even a hearing. It was just me with my attorney, the guardian ad litem who is appointed to assign our daughter, who is, in many of your readings, that weird third party that you've been picking up on. Hates me. I've never even had a traffic ticket. I'm approved on NFA items. Like, you have nothing on me. There's nothing on me. I'm the epitome of doing everything the way I should do it. I live by the universal laws. Like, what are we doing here? So, I have her got her on the ex parte, which gave me full custody of her. Didn't have to allow visitation, nothing, until all of this is resolved. Ex-wife did not try to contact her for like 2 months. And I get her on ex parte in like late May, early June. So we'll say it was somewhere around end of May, right when school was letting out for the summer. Convenient. So essentially the courts, I had her for the entire summer. We were supposed to have mediation between that time, which I had already put my money down on, and she didn't even respond to the request. Nothing. No response. Doesn't show. I'm out $200 because she doesn't show up. That should have just been it, right? Nope. No. I don't know what happened. And to give you an idea, there's some serious neglect going on in this situation. 8 years old when I got my daughter at the end of May, 42 pounds. 42 pounds. That's the other thing from September on, well, from the time we got divorced on, she was not being cared for. Straight up neglect. Some of the pictures I have would blow your mind. Dreads, that big around, across the back. Like, witnesses for all of it. I have so many witnesses at this point, it's ridiculous. So I asked my attorney, hey, have you sent all that information over to the ad litem? No response. So I waited a day, emailed him again. Yeah, I sent it over. Well, the ad litem, how it works, they get contacts, witnesses, and all information, supposedly from both parties, to make a decision that's in the best interest of the child. This ad litem apparently just, I don't know. I have my speculations. I'm not going to voice them on here because I don't want to put anybody off. Let's just say I live in a very blue city that's in a very red state. I'll just tell you, Washington County, Arkansas, one of the most corrupt family court systems. Enough said. So, attorney never once did discovery, did not ask her for any documentation, did not look at my evidence, just basically did nothing. Took my money and did nothing. So we're getting down, and the entire time I've been going, I want to go to a hearing. Like, I understand how temp hearings are because I got put on supervised visitation because my first attorney in the initial divorce just rolled over and didn't present any evidence. Oh, well, we'll deal with it in December, which that's wild. The divorce, that entire situation cannot be made up. So this goes down at this point, we'll just say it's right around September, a year later now. So September 2024. I asked my attorney again, hey, did you do this? I haven't heard anything. I'm asking the people I submitted to you to send to the ad litem. They're telling me they haven't been called. I haven't been called. Nobody on my side has been called. Oh, that's a problem. Yeah, that's a problem. Where have you been for the past 4 months? What are you doing? Nothing. So then we get closer to time. We finally get the temp hearing. Let's see. May, June, July, August, September. $5 months. What was supposed to be resolved within 30 days of the ex parte being granted, ad litem gave my ex-wife 5 months. In direct violation of everything. Did not call a single witness on my end, nothing. So right around September, they gave her visitation back. And of course I was doing what I do. It's like, hey, she has an asthma appointment such and such day, this time. I literally work 2 minutes away from the place. I'll be there 15 minutes early. Like, don't go in until I get there. And so here I am at work, working away. I get a text at 1, hey, we're here, we're already in a room. I'm like, you're an hour early. I'm supposed to be there. You've never attended a single specialist appointment. You're straight up refusing to believe she even has asthma. Wouldn't even give her allergy meds. I go in there and the visit was already complete. Of course, I walk in, I'm raging. Walk in, her partner's in the room. There's no need. So I asked very calmly, what are you doing here? Why are you in here? You have no reason right to be in here. And I could tell they were secretly recording me. So keep in mind, this is a female. I don't care about pronouns. They're detrimental. Like, don't get me started on that. But, so she starts screaming at me. Not my ex-wife. She's cowering in the corner. She can't even look at me. Won't even look in my direction. Why this wannabe man, this is how one swing I would have shattered their jaw. Just doesn't even stand up. She's sitting down, and I'm standing up above her about 3 feet away, just like, please leave. And just proceeds to verbally assault me, like trying to provoke me to fight. And I knew if I retaliated, she would no longer be a man. The second I hit her, that woman card coming right out. I'm no fool. I know what you're trying to do. Like I said, the entire time, she's recording me. I don't know on what platform. I don't do social media. Maybe I should get on TikTok and try and find it. I don't know. But I know it was recorded. And so I backed down, let them think they won, and I'm fuming. It's all over my face. Like, I will F you up. But I couldn't. But yeah, she sitting in a chair and just bows up to me standing down. It's like, do you realize how much I could hurt you right now? Act like a man. I'll treat you like one. Except when it's involving my daughter potentially being taken away from me. I won't do that. So go in there. I don't even know what they told the specialist. It was over by the time I got there. I got there in time for the follow-up visit. The follow-up with the doctor. And he's looking at, everybody in the room's looking at me like, what's going on? I'm sitting here going, why did y'all start this without me being here? I'm the only one who's been doing this. Y'all know the issue. Why are you taking her word? Because I know the game she plays. She goes in there. Oh, well, I'm a nurse. I know all about this. It's fine. Oh, God help her patience. Yeah, she cares for the elderly too. That's horrifying. Only because she's been caught allegedly stealing pills. She's a med distribution nurse, stealing pills at every place she's worked for. Almost every place she has worked from, she has been fired because of that. So yeah, her husband bows up, wants to fight me. I get out of the appointment. My daughter's sitting there like, what is going on? And mind you, this is in front of the child. Up until this point, my child until I filed the ex parte, and at this point, 9 years, I had no idea what was going on. I didn't involve her in it. So that was September. Go through the rest of September, just the same stuff, attacking me every chance they get, provoking me. And at the time, I was defending myself and reacting instead of calming down and responding. If you're in this situation, don't react. Take a second, take a deep breath, organize your thoughts, and respond. Don't react. You want to put a narcissist in their place, just hold that mirror up. Let them be their own reflection. So, at this point, my attorney, 3 days before we were supposed to actually go have the temp hearing, completely caves. We don't need to do this. It's the ad litem's already made her mind up. I'm like, based on what? She hadn't called anybody. He goes, what do you mean? It's like, every single person. So I went through all that with him. He's like, well, that's absurd. It's like, yeah, I have all this evidence you haven't looked at. Oh, you have evidence? I fired him right then. Well, he's like, we should draw up papers. I was like, okay, you can draw up papers. I don't care. You can draw them up, but do not submit them because I want a hearing. We're not settling on this. He drew it up, signed in my place without my permission, submitted it to the court, lied to me about going to the temp hearing. I fired him. So now I'm locked in to have to do mediation on my own. And I mean, my brother's an attorney, so I know a little bit about process. I mean, in the 8 years I've been going through this, I've learned quite a bit. And I go in there to the mediation, which if you don't know what mediation is, figure it out, try to come to an agreement before we go to court. I get in there and I am just made out to be the devil incarnate. I had the ad litem, a representative of the Supreme Court of Arkansas, mind you, screaming at me this far from my face. You take to this court, I will see to it that I will object to everything that you bring forward. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, just laying into me. At one point, I'm not going to sit here and listen to this shit anymore. All because I refused to call that person. Nowhere once in my petition for custody or the ex parte did I say anything about her husband being transgender. Not a single time. They took that card, they ran with it. They created a transgender situation. I'm standing 10 toes down. Okay. So at this point, I've really started listening to my intuition over the last year and a half. And I just knew. I mean, I'm practically in tears. And it's just me being ganged up on by two women. The mediator was even screaming at me. You're supposed to be non-biased in this. Why are you screaming at me? I try to show you my evidence to counter what you're claiming, and you just refuse to look at it. So what are we doing here? And it was at this point I knew my daughter was screwed. It's not about me. It's about protecting my child. That's been the hard part. The person who is supposed to be the voice for the child didn't even pull her medical records. And I confronted her about that. Because she said something. I'm like, hey, well, did you even pull her medical records to look at it? Well, no. I was like, then you haven't even fulfilled your basic duties of your role. which I can't ask for removal at this point. So I had to compromise, and I mean, it went in my favor still. I had the high ground, but I put provisions in there that if she was telling the truth, shouldn't be an issue for her to follow. But I knew she was lying, so there's no way she can possibly do it. And I locked in that my daughter's not to go to school outside of the county, because she's still, even after she moved back, finding a new place, instead of moving back to where her child resides, she moved to a completely different area. And I looked at the mediator, or the mediator and the ad litem both, and I said, you realize we're just going to be back in a year, because her next step is going to try and get my daughter into Benton County schools. Are you seriously that you're that paranoid that you think that she's even gonna formulate a plan to do that? It's like, yeah, I know she is. Looked at me like I was crazy. Here we are a year later. I feel it. It's coming. It's coming. But this time she's gonna be screwed. Like, bring it. I still have all the receipts. So I ended up signing, and that crushed me. Oh, and keep in mind, she's a nurse on Medicaid and using free court resources for other people. I brought that up. I was like, how does a nurse get free legal assistance from the state? Oh, why don't you ask the judge? Oh, I'd love to. Let me see the judge. And I'm not going to listen to this shit anymore. And that's when she turned around and walked out of the room. But yeah, signing that, I signed it in tears. I ended up taking 3 days off of work, but yeah, that was the darkest place I'd ever been in my life. I hit my knees at night in absolute tears of just despair. Now, here's what I didn't do. I did not ask God why. I didn't put any blame on God or the spiritual realm at all. I just asked, I pleaded. In a pool of tears, I pleaded. And just asked, how much longer are you going to make me go through this? Because at this point, I feel like I've had my hands tied behind my back. I mean, it is bringing up past life wounds, bad. Yeah, I'm very spiritual. If you don't like that, then you can F off. I don't care. Leave. Definitely bringing up some witch wounds. But yeah, it was like being tied to a post and just repeatedly beaten without being able to even defend yourself. And when you did get a chance to speak your piece, you were just shouted down and told you were a liar, and you couldn't even. So yeah, I was in a super dark place that night. Thought about some stuff that for the first time in my life in this entire ordeal, I was just I don't know if I can physically continue. So I have my thoughts going. was sitting there with something in my hand, and it's like, if you do this, who will your daughter have? She'll go there all the time. So, put it away and prayed and prayed and meditated and prayed. Dove into what I was supposed to learn from that situation. Now, there's still stuff ongoing, but I don't want to speak to any of my ongoing stuff. Not in great detail. What I told the ad litem about her gonna try and get her into Benton County schools, it came true. They made me unenroll her from the school I had her in, move her back into Fayetteville, and I was supposed to be the one who did it, but ex-wife, the mediator, husband, and her attorney at the time, I guess, started submitting school documents. I'm the only one who lives in district. I wasn't told about it, anything else. That's the wild part. I wasn't told about it. I found out when I went up there to submit the application to get her transferred in. And not only that, she submitted false documents, fraud on the paperwork, tried to ask the school system for, hey, what legal documents did she submit along with this? I'm curious, because what you're telling me and what I signed are two completely different things. School system refused. Even though it is a criminal offense in my city to do what she did, didn't care. Commit fraud, don't care. So at this point, I had the court system working against me. I have a non-biased mediator as a representative for the Supreme Court working against me. And I have the city refusing to prosecute. That's the only thing I'll mention on the current ongoing stuff. But I was right. They were trying to put an out-of-district transfer request in. Tell me I'm crazy again. But if there's anything y'all want me to expand on that, because I can go into a lot of detail just in that last year. And honestly, that's a mile part, and I probably left a lot out. Sorry, turkey trucks are going up and down. But yeah, I probably left a lot out of that. So if there's anything y'all like me to expand on, if you want to know, well, I'm going to tell the story from the beginning anyways, but I just feel like what's been done in this situation needs to go public. You have an ad litem working outside of her parameters after the case has been closed, 3 months, 4 months after papers had been signed, helping my ex-wife behind the scenes submit all this paperwork and do everything. They were trying to frame me in hopes that I wouldn't submit paperwork. Sneaky, but good luck fooling a psychic. I told you right to your face it would happen. And you called me crazy. And here we are, a year later. And I was right, again. But yeah, especially if you have any questions on how to navigate a situation like this. This is going to be a pretty spiritual channel, but also at the same time, I'm here to I know there's other people out there that have been going through something like this. If you need advice on how to deal with a narcissist, if you need, I'm not an attorney, but I can at least show you how to deal with the situation. I won't tell you what documents to file or anything else because I'm not an attorney. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in this position. And my brother can't help me because he's in Texas. So, But yeah, I just wanted to kind of call out the corruption going on in the Arkansas court system, specifically Washington County and Benton County, apparently. Can't leave that out. So now next time I go back, I'm gonna have to go to Little Rock, 3 hours away, to find an attorney who's not afraid to challenge a judge. I mean, it's been 8 years. I haven't seen a judge. I'm just gonna leave all this in so y'all can just see. This is like the 50th time me trying to record, and every single time I get interrupted. So, yeah, I'm just wanting to expose the corruption. I mean, you're hearing a lot about Lonoke County and what's going on down there in the criminal system. But I guess I'm gonna have to be the one to speak up for the fathers who are getting shafted up here. But I love y'all. Tune in. I'm a fun guy. I can be pretty intense. I'm pretty funny though. I think so. But anything y'all want to know, I'm an open book. Anything you want to know about, meditation, ascension, enlightenment, I'll tell my story on that as well. But I will issue a warning. My ancestors don't play about me. You come at me with some aggro, I wouldn't recommend it. I won't be the one answering on it. Take heed of that. And if you do come at me aggro, I'm just gonna laugh at you, because you're a fool. Love y'all.